Welcome to the show. Max, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming again and talking to us and our viewers.
Thanks for having me.
Before I proceed asking you certain pertinent questions, I will talk in Urdu for a minute or two so that my audience can understand also what we are trying to achieve.
Absolutely.
मोज़िज़ सामीन और मोज़िज़ नाज़रीन, इस प्रोग्राम को लाने का मकसद एशिया टीवी और एशिया ट्रिब्यून का कि आपको हम वो रास्ते दिखा सकें जो ज़ाहिर बसायर आपके सामने इस वक्त नहीं हैं, और हम आपकी मदद करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। ATV का इसमें कोई फाइनेंशियल बेनिफिट नहीं है, लेकिन हमारी कोशिश ये है कि हम कम्युनिटी बेस्ड टेलीविज़न स्टेशन हैं और हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे नाज़रीन इस वक्त से फ़ायदा उठाएं, क्योंकि वक्त एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो चला जाता है तो फिर नहीं मिलता। हमने कोशिश ये की है इस प्रोग्राम में कि एक फाइनेंशियल एक्सपर्ट को लेकर आ रहे हैं, आपके साथ ये बार बार गुफ्तगू करेंगे और हम इस पर इनके साथ मुख्तलिफ़ बिजनेसेस के ऊपर आज गुफ्तगू करने वाले हैं। आज हमारा प्रोग्राम इस बात पर मुनहसर है कि आप इसमें दिलचस्पी ले रहे हैं और इसके साथ साथ हम आपको रास्ता दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आप अपने बॉस खुद कैसे हो सकते हैं, आप बिज़नेस के मालिक कैसे हो सकते हैं और आप अमेरिकन ड्रीम को कैसे अचीव कर सकते हैं। अमेरिका एक ऐसी जगह है कि जहां एक से एक आदमी ने ज़मीन से आसमान पर पहुंचा है और यहां मेहनत करने वालों को हमेशा उसका बेनिफिट ज़रूर मिलता है। तो आइए मैक्स से गुफ्तगू करते हैं और हमारी कोशिश ये होगी कि मैक्स से हम ये कहें कि आहिस्ता आहिस्ता बातचीत करें ताकि आप इसको बाकायदा समझ सकें, और अगर आपको कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन बाद में लेनी हो तो आप हमारा जो स्टेशन TV स्टेशन का नंबर आ रहा है, इस पर आप हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं, और अगर कॉल आपको ना मिले तो आप हमें ईमेल भेज सकते हैं, जो हम मैक्स से उसके जवाबात ले लेंगे और कोशिश ये करेंगे कि आइंदा प्रोग्राम में मैक्स से उन जवाबों के मुतालिक आपको बताया जाए और आपको इसकी मुकम्मल तशफ़ी हो जाए। मैक्स, वेलकम टू द शो।
Thanks again for having me.
I wanted to explain to my viewers that our goal is to give them the information on a very tricky subject, which is money, of course, and funding.
Right.
And since collapse of 2008, a lot of things have changed, and a lot of regulations have been imposed, and it is not as easy to get the funds as it used to be in the past. Now, a lot of our audience here in New York, New Jersey, and all over the United States especially want to acquire a business, want to be in business, want to be their own boss. But one thing, the money is not available. Second thing, they do not know what steps they should take. And they want to find out what is it you can do for them so that they will be able to achieve their dreams, get to the goal they have already set up. And let's start talking. Suppose when people come here, the first immigrants, they do not know a lot of things. They do not know the laws. They do not know what to do, how to do, and they do not have enough money. So they start working very, very hard. They start working with in stores like 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts, gas stations, and grocery stores, and mom and pop, neighborhood stores. And from there, they work very, very hard. I mean, they work almost 18 hours a day behind the counter. Most of them, and I will say easily that all of them, are very hardworking, and they are honest people.
Very nice.
They want to make it the right way. Okay, so let's start. A person who comes into the United States and has been working in Dunkin' Donuts or in a gas station, and he has been able to survive and send some money to their family back home, and at the same time has saved some money. Now they want to acquire a business.
Right.
We will take all businesses separately. Let's talk about a situation where they want to buy a mom and pop a neighborhood grocery store. What should they do, and what can you do for them?
Okay. Um, First and foremost, the resources are here. It's just, when people don't know better, they don't know better, and as you learn better, you do better.
Yes.
But the resources are definitely here. That's the first thing that I want to start with, and it's for them to utilize those resources. And it's great that you have this platform to enable them to get the resources that they need to get to where they want to go. So I applaud you for what it is that you're doing here today. With that being said, the first thing that we want to do is we want to get them out. They want to come and see us.
Yes.
We want to get them to fill out an application in its entirety.
Okay.
Once they filled out the application, when you made a statement, you said, most people want to be their own boss.
Yes.
Well, we offer what's called an SBA loan, a small business loan.
SBA.
We offer those type of programs, and again, we offer some private money funding to allow them to invest in whatever they need to invest in. What the criteria is that they need in order to do that, it's quite simple. They've been in the country for quite some time. They've made money, right?
What do you mean by quite some time? A person who has been here for 2-3 years is not quite some time.
We're looking for 2 years.
2 years.
Right. So ultimately, I'm looking for 2 years of rental history. So I need to see 2 years of rental history. I need to know you filed your tax returns for 2 years.
Okay.
I don't think that's a lot to ask. It's fine. If you're here on a green card, that's not going to enable you from getting to where you need to go or anything like that. Or a work visa.
Right.
That would still allow you. But again, let's go through the credentials that's needed. You're going to fill out an intake form. You're going to give me a copy of a passport or a driver's license. You're going to give me a work visa or a social security card. You're going to give me 30 days of your bank statements. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to give me 30 your pay stubs, either biweekly, two of them, or if you get paid weekly, 4 of them. Once you've done that, I will then in turn take that information and put it in my system, and then I can get you a turn time, meaning an answer, within 48 hours from the time you've submitted the information.
When you are asking about the bank statement, there are certain situations where when they are working in mom and pop grocery stores and all that, mm-hmm. they are being paid cash also at the same time.
Right.
So, what do you do about it?
Well, cash is wonderful. Cash is actually key. However, in the United States, as you know, we got to pay our Uncle Sam.
Yes.
So even if you're getting income and it's cash, which is perfectly fine, it just means where you may be a W-2 employee, I may be a 1099 employee. So as long as you're following protocol and filing your tax returns under those regulations as a 1099 self-employed person, we're perfectly fine. And we expect most of them to be self-employed if you're applying for a small business loan.
Okay. If when we are talking about SBA, I understand that SBA requires much more than that. They want some collateral about the properties and all that, and these people do not have any property at all.
Well, when it comes to there's different levels. So if we're talking about basic loans and what I need to get you started, whether I need to cross collateralize on something or anything like that, we have to look at the size of the business as well. If it's not a sizable business and you're just looking, like you said, a small grocery store or bodega or something to that, I would only need basic information, and I would need to know that this is outlined and you can support the loan amount, because we don't want you to go into payment shock.
Okay, but at the same time, the buyer or the prospective client will not have the financials for the business.
Well, when it comes to not having the financials
for the business.
Right. When it comes to not having the financials, I always tell people I know what I know, and what I don't know, I don't know. Every situation is different and unique. You know what I mean? And that's the great thing about being an individual and being authentic. So when I'm looking at a case-by-case scenario, it really varies. So again, what do I need in order to get a person started? Once they get into my office and I'm able to get them started, I can then in turn dissect it and say, hey, well, your situation is this one wants a 7-Eleven, this one wants a mom and a pop. This is $1 million loan. This is a $200,000 loan. Again, they may not have the financials, but like when you said, a person that's working at a Walmart, as simple as a Walmart. They may not have liquid, but they may have a 401k plan. You understand what I'm saying?
I see.
Or some type of IRA or retirement funds, and that's liquidity.
Yeah, but when you are here only for 2-3 years,
Right.
Your 401k, the 401k does not have much money in it to begin with.
Right, but the thing is, we at the bank, we don't have the right to make that assumption. Do you know what I mean? And when you talked about 2008 and all of that, when things have changed, there's laws in place. So I have to you have to be very careful about how I word things as well. But again, I would suggest anyone that has a dream to apply for it, and it's my job to help them to get to where they need to go. And if they don't have it in place, then we'll see what we can do to structure them at getting it in the proper place.
Okay, if someone is looking for a mom and pop grocery store in the neighborhood, they have approximately, their asking price is say $250,000.
Okay.
Based on their sales per year.
Sure.
And their financials will not speak the truth. You know it and I know it.
Right.
Because
Sure.
So what should a person expect you to give when he wants to acquire that business of
Sure.
$250,000 mom and pop store?
Well, this is where we are. We spoke about an SBA loan, but that's just one loan.
Okay.
The good part about when you come in and you see a person is there's a variety. So
Okay.
there's options. If that's not what works for them, then you may be a person that, you just need, they don't have a lot of liquid, meaning liquidity
Right.
in hand, but they may have very strong credit. And because the credit is 700 or 750, that will enable me to say, hey, listen, I can do a personal line of credit for you and get you $100,000 in a week. And that may be sufficed on with it. That's a sizable down payment for a person that's looking for something for $200,000. So if you have resources or you have money coming in and you have $100,000 to put down and it's on a 30-year term, I don't see why that wouldn't qualify them for a loan.
Oh, okay. Now this is a new thing you brought in, by the personal line of credit.
Right.
When a person is talking about personal line of credit and he has been here only for 2 years, the 700 score is not possible,
Of course it is. Absolutely.
How do you get to 700?
Of course it is.
Let's take a small break and we'll come back and we will talk about credit, how to get to 700 and 700 plus, and how would a person acquire the next business when he's putting up $100,000.
Excellent.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have been talking with Max about how to acquire business, what is the credit report, how to get to the number of 700 plus when you have been here only for 2 years. Max, please tell me how to get to 750 plus score in 2 years' time of residence, and how should I protect that it will not go down?
Sure. All right. So let's go right into credit, because
Yes.
credit is really important. And we at the bank, when we look at a credit report, your credit truly tells a story about yourself.
Okay.
When we look at it, it identifies, it says a lot about where you've been, if you've moved around a lot. Some people, we have 13, 15 addresses. We're like, Jesus Christ, this person is not stable. They've been everywhere.
Oh, I see.
Things like that. We can
I
tell
see.
when you jump from job to job on your credit, your public records, things of that nature, bankruptcies, child support. It tells a lot about the individual's character. But let's just talk about building credit, and then we'll talk about what's needed to maintain good
Yes,
credit,
yes.
and why credit is so valuable in this industry.
Very good, very good.
All right.
Very good
So-
subject.
all right. So first and foremost, In building credit, you asked me, a person that comes to this has been here for 2 years, how do they establish credit?
Yes.
When you establish some people work off of what's called a CPN number.
What is that? Can you explain it to them, please?
Sure. A CPN number is a client's protection number.
Right.
I don't want to get too involved in that because CPNs are very unique and they're not for everybody. So I'll stay away from that for one reason, but I'll circle around and come back to it.
Okay.
So ultimately, you need a Social Security card number.
Yes. An EI or EIN number, personal.
Which is your tax ID
Right.
number. And in building that, that's what we build with what's called your Dun and Brad.
Yeah.
And when you have
Oh, you need DNB also at the same time?
Well, when you're building credit, because
Right,
when you're
okay.
borrowing money against your
Personal.
EIN number.
Oh,
your
against-
E-
oh,
right. If
against
you're
the
borrowing
EIN.
against your EIN number, that would require your Dun and Brad.
I
And Dun
see.
and Brad, where we call with a social a FICO score, your Dun and Brad is called a Paydex score.
Okay.
All right. And then I'll tell you about what's high on a Paydex score because that's simple. You know, if you have a 98 on a Paydex score, it's a very high score. It's like an 840
I
on
see.
a FICO score.
Okay.
So let's just start with the basics. So we're going to deal with the credit score.
Right.
Meaning your FICO.
Right.
And your FICO is, and that's done in 3 stages. At the bank, we pull what's called a tri-merge report. And a tri-merge report is your Equifax, your Experience, and your TransUnion. So that's called a tri-merge credit report. And that's going to give you 3 different scores of what's reported to the bureau every month on your credit report. What we look for in banking is 3 open trade lines. An open trade line is simply something showing that you're credit worthy. Whether you opened up a Macy's account, whether you bought a car and it's being reported to the dealer, or if it's a simple Capital One Visa card. It's reported every month. It begins to build after 90 days because we look for consistency. And on credit, it doesn't matter if the bill, sometimes people get a bill and it may read $5,000 and the other one's $700 and they feel like, oh my God, I got to pay this off, it's $5,000. The score is going to remain the same whether you paid the $5 one or the $5,000 one. Doesn't matter which one you
Oh,
paid.
really?
Right. So I always tell people target the smaller one first because it's either going to jump or it's not. It really doesn't matter.
Oh.
But for whatever reason in their mind, they feel they have to go to that larger bill. I never understood that.
Because they don't know anything about it,
Okay.
you know. And if we explain them, you know, clearly as you are trying to do, then they will try to follow the advice.
Correct.
Most of us don't know.
Correct. Okay, well, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So, again, in building the credit, there's even websites that you can go to. If you've been here for 10 years and we have a great relationship, one way is I can easily piggyback off of you. And when I piggyback off of you, you have a Stearns credit card or a Macy's credit card or, you know, a Sears credit card, and I have no credit. You can simply sign me up as an authorized user,
Oh.
and that will help me build.
Oh, wow.
You can also go on legal sites on the web. There's sites such as boostmycredit.com, and you can literally go on there and pay merchants to add onto your account, which is legal and free. So you can pull that up in your computer, a company like boostmycredit.com.
That's a very good information. I
And
didn't know of
they'll
that.
yeah. See, I'm giving somebody a plug,
Yes.
right?
Yes, you are.
And they can do that, but there's companies out there that does that for a minimum thing, but you can do it with a family member or a friend. After a while, when there's one merchant on your credit report, it's fairly easy to acquire a cell phone or something like that and build yourself up. And if you've been here for 2 years and you've done nothing, then it's time for you to get out there and do something. So we got to be accountable for our own actions.
Okay, Max, somebody told me a long time ago that there is another way of building the credit. For example, if I have $25,000, I can go to the bank, I mean like big banks, you know, big commercial banks.
Sure.
And deposit that as a fixed deposit.
Right.
And borrow against it.
Right. Well,
And then take that money out, go to the other bank, put that money in there and borrow against that. So I mean you are creating credit history And although you're not using your money, eventually you have to pay it. What do you say about it?
Well, I think that's good. I think that's one way of doing it. And most regular credit card companies does that. I'm a big fan of Banco Popular. And I get a lot of people that they don't have enough credit, and I may send them to the bank. That's an old way of doing it. But it works, but it's also time consuming with that financial institution. What happens is you may open up an account with a certain institutions such as your A-paper banks, and it's a difference in secured and unsecured, right? So when you secure the money, it's your money. You put $300 in, and guess what? Your limit is $300.
To borrow against
right,
it.
because we don't trust you. So you're not borrowing against it. It's your money.
Right.
Once you absorb that $300, then that's it. There's no more money to get.
Right.
You swipe your card, it's unlimited. When you borrow against something, that $300 is an
Still
additional.
there.
It's being matched because you're borrowing money. You can never borrow what's yours. It's mine. I put it in there. How am I borrowing it? So they park it there. The bank, you allow the bank to utilize or invest your little $300 in whatever they want to do, and then they limit you and don't give you anything for it. However, because they report it, you understand? Because they report it, if you've done well, meaning you pay everything, it's never been any overage, you pay your bank fees, because we want our fees. After that, we'll look at it and we'll say, you know what, he's worth the risk, and we will double that. So that 3 will turn into 600, but normally that would take 6 months to a year to do.
I see.
But it will get you on the right track to building good credit.
So if I want to summarize the whole situation on the credit, as you told me, my viewers should follow that advice, you know.
Right. And let me just add this really quick for the people that have credit and the credit is going down and they have concerns about that, because it's really important to establish good credit. I speak with individuals all the time when I'm dealing with my clients, and they say to me, you know, Mr. Watkins, I got my bill, it was $600, and I paid $200, and it's still going nowhere. Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
And they're frustrated. They're like, well, what's going on?
Right.
I was only supposed to pay $40, and I paid $200, and my bill's not going down, my credit's not going up, and I'm really trying. And they're sincere about what they're saying. But what happens is, we at the bank, when we give you credit, so if you have a credit card and it's $1,000 limit, we only want to see you spend 30%. So that means
$300
you should only be spending $300. Correct. Because you're not at that threshold. So if you have $1,000, your limit's $1,000, and you spent $800, and you sent $200, now you got it down to $600, but you're not even at your threshold, so it's not going to move.
$300.
However, all of those cards, if you stay at 30%, you will slowly, but every month, see it increase, and you'll find yourself in the 700s and 800s. And that's how that's called your DTI. So you want to keep your debt income very low.
The ratio you're talking about.
That's correct.
Debt to income ratio you're
That's
talking
correct.
about.
Right,
Okay.
and you want to keep that. So just keep that in mind for the viewers that currently have credit and you want to maintain good credit. Keep it at 30%. When your cycle date comes up once a month, it'll jump.
So what good is the credit limit if they don't want us to borrow against it? What good is it?
Well, we want you to borrow against it, but we want you to be responsible with it. You know, we want you to borrow, but we don't want you to be frivolous with it.
I see. You don't want us to be extravagant also.
That's correct. Because, I mean, when I say $1,000, I'm looking for 3. There's that 1,000. As long as you're in the 3s, then we want to increase it. That 1,000 that you're looking at will be 5,000 in no time.
Okay, Max, you know, unfortunately the time runs so fast
Does get the
that
best
we
of
do
us.
not even control. We wanted to discuss several of the issues,
And we will.
we have not even covered, you know, half of what we planned today.
Absolutely.
And the questions they pop up, and unfortunately we run out of time.
Not a problem.
What viewers, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, today we have discussed at length how to build your credit, what to do about it, and I think it is the most important subject in anybody's life when we are living in the United States of America, and now everywhere else, to be honest, in Europe also, and most probably in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh also. They will be introducing same kinds of structured credit reports. We have spoken about credit report today, and we wanted to discuss a specific situation where we wanted to buy a mom and pop grocery store, but we did not, unfortunately, could cover this whole subject. So we will try to complete that transaction next in our next show. That we will take numbers, and then we will work out a situation where, with these numbers, how to acquire this, and what will be monthly payments, and what are your responsibilities, and what is the assistance Max can offer. But I can assure you that the only reason I brought Max here was because I have sent friends to him, and I have experienced personally in a very difficult situation. He was able to resolve the issue in such a way that all the parties are happy, and I suggest and I recommend and I really request you that if you are looking into buying a business, or if you are looking to acquire something, you should contact him at the numbers which will be shown on our screen. And at the same time, if you have questions, please send an email to ATV, and we will forward it to Max. The reason we do not want to give you his email is because it will not be possible, humanly possible, for him and his office to answer thousands and thousands of emails. What we will do, that our office here at ATV will go through the emails, and whatever, we will try to merge all of them together, same questions, and we will send him that question, and then he will be able to take the issue next time in our show. And I hope you enjoyed the show. It is a very serious discussion. There are no songs, no entertainment. This show will help you building your life for future. Thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.